free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Yes, the phone lines are open, 1-800-229-3000, and we're doing 2 programs today, so we would love to hear from you here on New Life Live. My name is Brian Perez, and I'm here with clinical psychologist Dr. Jill Hubbard. How you doing, Jill?
Hey, Brian. Doing well.
Yeah, great to have you here. And licensed marriage and family therapist JJ West joins us too. Hey there, JJ.
Hey, guys. Great to be on with you.
Yeah, what's on your mind to start off our program today, JJ?
Well, a little over a week ago, my wife and I celebrated our 28th anniversary, wedding anniversary, which we were so excited about. And so, of course, we had to go out for dinner. And also to celebrate, we decided to take on a massive yard project, like people do, to celebrate their anniversaries.
Of course.
This is a project that we'd been putting off for many, many years, mainly because of the cost and the lack of energy or strength to tackle it. It involved replacing a driveway that had gotten completely destroyed by tree roots. It involved doing a new flower bed. It involved moving irrigation lines and heads in order to make room for the new driveway and the new walkway. It involved replacing irrigation heads for the new landscaping beds. And as we got started on the project, things were going well. We were celebrating our anniversary with dinner. We were making some headway on the project. We had some plans. And as I go to get ready to replace some of the irrigation heads for one of the landscaping beds that we were doing, we come to find out that the irrigation line is broken and it's been leaking. And we don't even know for how long. And I thought about the fact that this is so often the way life is and the way marriages are. You start off strong. You've got all this energy. You've got all this enthusiasm. Everything's a go. It's all looking good. And then you hit a wall. You hit a roadblock. You hit some snag, some unforeseen problem. And it's so easy in that moment to lose focus. It's so easy in that moment to get deflated and to want to give up. So how do we keep pressing on? How do we keep moving forward when we've hit one of those walls, one of those roadblocks? How do we not lose hope in the process? And so I think there's a few things that I would recommend. Number one is you have to, in that moment, remind yourself of the goal that you had and why you set up the goal to begin with. What's your why? You have to remind yourself of that, because it's easy to get so focused on the problem that's in front of you and lose sight of why you started this to begin with. So you want to remind yourself of the goal and why you're pursuing it. Second, you want to ask God for strength. You want to ask God for help. You want to ask God for perseverance, because He wants to give us those things. He wants to help us. He's our good Father who wants to give us all good things. And so we want to ask God for help to not lose hope and to keep moving forward. And then I would finally say, well, I'd say 2 more things. One is surround yourself with people who are going to encourage you. In the project, we've been trying to encourage one another. Hey, this is going to look good. This is going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Yes, we're exhausted. Yes, every inch of our bodies is completely sore. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've been this sore in a long time. But we keep encouraging each other, and the kids kind of chimed in like, yeah, this is looking good. The neighbors have come by. Hey, that looks really good. So that's helped. And then finally, I would say, remember that small, consistent change leads to big goals. And so don't lose hope. Keep moving forward. Trust the process.
JJ, I would add one more thing. You should attend our Intimacy and Marriage Intensive. We've got one coming up. Yes, we've got one coming up in just a few weeks, July 25th in Washington, D.C. You can come to the newlife.com website to find out more, or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and we'll talk about intimacy and marriage when we come back with Jill Hubbard and JJ West, who after 28 years might know a thing about this intimacy and marriage thing. We'll talk about it. 1-800-229-3000.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books or attended a few other marriage weekends, This was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to intimacy in marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy in Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy in Marriage Weekend is July 25th to the 27th in Washington, D.C. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And here we go on New Life Live. Dr. Jill Hubbard and JJ West here, and we're going to go right to the phones. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call us today, and we're going to begin with Mike, who's listening in Virginia Beach on WPMH. Welcome to New Life Live, Mike.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, how can we help you today?
Just past our 29th year anniversary, and we've been basically living as friends for the past year. Been going to counseling a lot, and so I want to go to counseling. I think I've gotten a lot out of the counseling I've done. My wife doesn't want to go. She feels that she's been enough. She feels embarrassed because she feels like everyone will think that she's crazy for staying married to me. And I don't know if I ask her to go to counseling this next time and she doesn't want to go, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't want a divorce. I don't know how to cope with the life that we're living right now.
Dr. Jill?
Mike, what does your wife propose? Is she wanting divorce?
She said it, but I don't believe she truly wants it. That was months ago when she said it, and
okay.
I told her that, no, I'm not going to give you a divorce. You don't have to take me to court. And so we've been friends, and like I said, we're basically living as friends. We're sleeping in separate rooms. She feels like she needs time to heal from past hurt, and so therefore she wants to be left alone so that she can heal on her own timing.
So
not
right. So is she going to therapy on her own?
No.
No. Okay. So she just wants time to pass?
Exactly.
Kind of nurse her own hurts. Okay. So, because you said she was embarrassed, I first thought you were going to say she was embarrassed to go to therapy, but you said she's embarrassed that she's still married to you?
She's embarrassed to go to therapy because, well, she doesn't want to go to therapy because she feels that she will feel embarrassed or that she's still married to me. So she feels like the therapist or people will wonder, why are you still with this guy? If he's that bad, why are you still there?
Mm-hmm. So she's already predicting and assuming what the therapist will say or what others will think, right? So, and this living in separate rooms as just friends, is that kind of in the closet, like nobody knows?
Well, I don't know who, I talked to some of my friends and they know. I don't know if she's told any of her friends about it. I don't know if she's told her parents. So I don't know who she's told.
Okay, so Mike, she's really hurt.
Yes.
And even if it's, from her perspective, there are things that have transpired in this marriage that have not gone as probably either one of you had hoped. And so in her hurt, it's really important that when someone is hurt, even if we think they don't have a right to be hurt, that we stop and we listen and we really hear, and we hear it over and over again until we really understand, and we can get to a place of having compassion for the fact that even if it's just how they see it, that they are feeling it very deeply. And it's frustrating because we all, as humans, we want to defend ourselves. Oh, I didn't mean that, or it wasn't that way, or that's not how it went down. And that doesn't work. That just makes the other person feel more and more alone. And especially women. Go ahead.
I've gotten better at that. Not
Okay.
to defend myself, because just recently I thought I told her something, and I guess I didn't. And then when I came home, she was upset. She had called me. She was upset. I just apologized and told her that, I'm sorry. And I didn't make excuses.
Good.
I told her I understood how she feel and that I was sorry and I would try to do better. Which gets me upset again because, like I said, we're kind of living as friends, but she still expects a lot out of me. And I think the other factor that is a big factor in our relationship is we have 3 kids with special needs.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's a lot.
It's just, and she's just been a constant caregiver.
Yeah.
For the whole 20. So she's been a stay-at-home mom for the past 29 years. So, and it's hard on her because she feels like nobody understands her. I don't have any compassion or anything for her. But we just don't show things the same way. We both have totally 2 unrealistic expectations of what our marriage was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then when you come in with your own baggage and then you get handed additional baggage of 3 special needs kids, it's rough.
Yeah. JJ, what do you think?
It's really rough.
Yeah, so my question for you, why is she crazy for staying married to you? What's going on? What has happened that someone would say she's crazy for staying?
Oh, because I talk down to her. I don't take her into consideration on decisions I make or that are made. I have had a flirt. Well, I would probably say it wasn't flirtatious, but she says it's flirtatious, and the text message that I sent to someone, and so that would be the other reason because so to her it's emotional adultery, and at first I had disagreed, but then I understand. I mean, I was trying to defend myself, but I understand it was inappropriate at least.
Okay. It was not something that you would have showed to your wife.
Actually, well, no, I wouldn't have. No. Okay. It was a joking text, but sometimes
it was a secret conversation with this other person that your wife didn't know about, and you didn't want your wife to know about.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But not to try to.
Which is right, but that's a good distinction that JJ is making, because if you are doing something with someone of the opposite sex that you wouldn't share with your wife, right there something's up with this.
It's bad.
Right. Even if it's just laying the groundwork for something else later, I haven't actually gotten into being flirtatious or being overtly sexual, but I'm still having a secret conversation with this person. I'm already in the danger zone. I'm already in inappropriate territory. So coming back though to you, Mike. So you said talk down to her, don't include her in decisions that you make, and you've had this the start of an emotional affair. And have you owned that with her? Have you told her that you recognize that you've done these things and expressed sorrow for them?
Yes. In fact, when we were in counseling, we agreed with the counselor that we wouldn't bring it up again and that it was
Why
forgiven.
Why did the counselor suggested that you never bring it up again?
Right. That we wouldn't keep that when we get into an argument or disagreement, we wouldn't keep digging up stuff from the past and just throwing that back into the argument.
Okay. All right. So yeah, there's two different things here that need to be sorted out. Yes, I would agree that you don't just keep bringing up old grudges to help you win an argument. That's not healthy. That's not healthy communication. But I don't want that to turn into we're never allowed to talk about past grievances where I'm still hurting and I still need to grieve. That's off the table because I apologized. You can't bring it up ever again. I don't think that's helpful or healthy for each of you if there still needs to be an expression of grief. Not I'm going to bring this up so I can beat you up with it or so I can win an argument, but I'm bringing it up as a way to express my heart that I'm hurting and I need you to understand me and I need you to comfort me.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, yes. I get it does. Well, like you said, it's not to bring it up to say, see, they use it as a weapon,
right?
But to use it as a tool to heal,
right? And that's where you can take the lead, Mike. You can bring it up. Hey, I know that I've hurt you in these ways, and I know that the counselor before told us not to use it as a weapon, but I do want to let you know that if you're still hurting and you need to express that I'm open to hearing that I want to come alongside you and support you as you're healing, not demand that you're already healed from it.
And I heard you guys, and in fact, I went back and listened to it before. Again, I mean, you were telling one caller who was calling for a friend, and he suggested that the husband write a letter to his wife of all the things that he's owning up to, and then asking her to add on anything else she feels I missed.
Which,
and so,
a way of letting her know that you understand. And sometimes in writing, the person can see it more clearly, and you can be more specific. So that's one way. That's certainly a tool.
Right. And and I guess where it goes into my question was, I don't know how to do this on my own. I definitely need good counseling to help us. I mean, we've been to counseling, and every time we've been to counseling, I think it was always for the counselor to tell the other person where they're making a mistake or what they're doing wrong. We didn't go to counseling for ourselves. We went to counseling to fix the other person. So now I want to go to counseling. I've been going to counseling. I've been spending a lot of money in counseling. And I think I've been doing a lot better. She's not going to counseling. And now if I suggest for us to go to counseling again and going to an intensive, in fact, if she refuses, then I don't know what to do at that point. I don't know if I should just, I don't want to move out the house because, she needs me here to help with they're adult kids, but they still have special needs.
Right.
So, Mike, I think it sounds like you're still in process and you're kind of looking ahead. And as a lot of us do, we want the outcome. We want, okay, where is this going? And is it going to produce what I want? When in the process, it's like JJ, what you were talking about, the little things add up to a bigger result. And so when you're in the process, you don't always see the end result. But it's important to do that. And I think letting her know that you're willing to work on yourself and do whatever it takes to, in a sense, make up for the past hurts, but to become, even though you can't erase them, but to be a different person in the relationship moving forward. And that's what you would like to do. And that even to invite her and say, that you would be willing to support her in getting the help that she wants for herself to examine But if she's not willing, you can't force it. But you keep on doing what you're doing and being different, and that will have an impact on her. And believe me, she's watching you. She's watching to see if your words and your actions match.
Mike, thank you for calling in today here on New Life Live at 1-800-229-3000. If you'll stay on the phone, I think we'll send you a copy of Worthy of Her Trust. Do you think that would be a good one to send?
Yeah.
Okay, we've also got a tip sheet available called 5 Tips to Build Trust in a Relationship. That's available to anyone who calls us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. The book is available on the newlife.com store. And we've also got a couple of intensives that you and your wife should attend. One is the Intimacy in Marriage. The other one is Restore Healing After Betrayal. We'll talk about those when we come back here on New Life Live.
Early on, looking at pornography that went into affairs, massage parlors, strip clubs with buddies. Before you know it, you're ashamed of that.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
My wife got a phone call, and she asked me who this person was, and man, how do I get myself out of this one?
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle intensive.
When she said to me, I want you to look at this website named Every Man's Battle, she had me look, and I said, no, this is exactly where I need to be. This is exactly the problems I have, and I'm gonna go.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Washington, D.C., April 25th through the 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Use the discount code NLL to save $50. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Christine in Connecticut, we're going to talk to you in just a moment here on New Life Live. Thank you for calling in to 1-800-229-3000. And before the break, we were speaking with Mike, and we're going to send him a couple of resources. And there's also some intensives coming up that I think would benefit Mike and his wife. The first one is the Intimacy and Marriage Intensive. That's happening the weekend of July 25th in Washington, D.C. Now, JJ, you are great at speaking about how good this intensive is
well,
for
and
people.
He's so good at speaking at the intensive.
Yes, that too.
Right?
So what will people learn when they go to these intensives?
So they're going to learn a lot of things. Number one, they're going to learn about themselves and what are the things that happened in their story, in their life, that have led them to the way they relate to others now. That's such an important piece of the puzzle, to understand yourself first. They're also going to learn how the patterns in their marriage, the patterns in their relationship repeat and why they repeat, and how to find a new path out. We work through material from the Mylan and Kay Yurkovich wrote a book called How We Love, and we use a lot of that material on the intensive, at the Intimacy and Marriage Intensive, as well as we teach them this tool called the Comfort Circle, which helps them learn how to communicate more effectively and not have to go down the same pathways, the same arguments. And I always say this, no matter where an argument starts, if you've been married long enough, you notice that they always end up in the same place. It's because we follow these well-worn paths, and we do it unconsciously. We do it, we're unaware that we're doing it. And so it's important that we start to pay attention and learn, oh, this is the pattern. This is what's happening. And now I see that this is the alternative. I have a different way, not only of relating to you, I have a different way of understanding what's going on with myself and why it is that I feel this need to shut down, or why I feel this need to attack, or why I feel this need to criticize, that I start to pay attention to what's going on inside of me. It's really a phenomenal weekend. It's like trying to cram about 6 months of marriage counseling into 2.5 days. It's pretty amazing.
You can find out all the details about it at newlife.com. And if you're wondering, I think my marriage is pretty intimate, well, we have a quiz that you can take on our website on the intimacy and marriage
prove
page.
It's not.
Yeah. That's what you
Just
thought.
when you thought.
Yes. newlife.com/IIM, as in intimacy in marriage, is how you can take that quiz and find out more. And then the other intensives, the Restore Healing After Betrayal, that is for women who have been, betrayed by their husband, and that information is also at newlife.com. That's happening the weekend of May 2nd through the 4th in Dallas. And then the Every Man's Battle Intensive is next weekend in Washington, D.C., April 25th through the 27th. And that is for guys dealing with issues like porn addiction or having affairs, or in the case of our previous caller, maybe even these little flirtatious texts that get sent out. And, the way JJ and Jill described it, it's the kind of thing that, you don't want your spouse to see that you're sending this text. So right there's an issue. So again, you can get all the details about all of our intensives, all of our resources on our website, newlife.com. Christine in Connecticut, thank you so much for calling in to New Life today. 1-800-229-3000 is the number Christine called, and the number you can call too. Hi there, Christine.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I'm calling for advice about what we should, if we should say anything to our son. He is in his mid-40s. He has a history of addiction, divorce. He has been in prison. He was adopted as an infant by us, and he now is engaged to another woman, and they are planning a marriage in October. And they're also planning a honeymoon in Salem, Massachusetts, which to me is like the center of evil as far as witchcraft and all that. He has played with tarot cards and crystals, and he knows about those kind of devices. And I just feel it's wrong for him to go, and anything we say to him of a corrective nature, he blasts us for involving and twist it around. And right now I'm just praying against it, that they'll change their mind and not go there. But what do you think? Basically.
Well, I think what's more important, Christine, is what's happening in his heart. You keeping him from going to Salem won't necessarily, make or break things. I mean, I understand why you wouldn't want him to go there. You don't want more exposure. But if this is where he's at, and I'm curious about the person he's chosen to marry this time, is that also what she is into? And do you have a relationship with her? I guess that's my question.
Basic relationship.
Okay.
We don't live with them, near them.
Okay.
She has told me that her mother is a witch. So I think she's had experience with this. Mm-hmm. But I've never talked with her about it.
Okay.
He's only that.
Okay. Well, I do think connecting with her, not about these issues, but and you may get some resistance, because as a Christian, she may push back. Mm-hmm. And Jesus in you may not be something that she's attracted to, but I would continue to, in any way you can, pursue a relationship with her, a loving, kind, caring, interested relationship, and with your son too. And more when we come back.
Stay on the phone, Christine. We'll talk to you when we come back here on New Life Live, 1-800-229-3000.
Restore gave me strength. It gave me more belief in my faith. I met up with a group of women that are going through things that they had no control over.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, May 2nd through the 4th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
I had a great experience at Restore.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because, you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch, listening to all this great information and not paying. So my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
And let's go back to the phones. We have Christine calling in, listening on Sirius XM channel 131. Christine called 1-800-229-3000 to talk to Dr. Jill Hubbard and JJ West. JJ, what might you have to ask Christine?
Well, Christine, actually, what I want to start with is just a statement of just how heartbreaking it is as a parent to watch your child make decisions and go down a path that you didn't want for them. You wanted something different. It's so hard as a parent. I've got 2 adult children myself, and they don't always choose the path that I would have chosen for them, and it's hard, and it's especially heartbreaking if that path has to do with their salvation, that they're choosing to walk away from God. They're choosing to trust in their own resources. That's so hard. And so, Christine, I just want you to know I hear that. I hear the pain for you. And you said we, so I'm assuming you and your husband. But you know the pain that's around that. And I'm sorry that you're having to face that. I'm sorry that you're having to walk through that. But I would want to reiterate what Jill said, that as much as you want to protect your son and his fiance from and rightly so, from the evils of this world and from the Prince of Darkness, you want to protect them from that. But you're not going to be able to change them by scaring them or by trying to control where they go and what they do. Where they will change, I believe, is by you continuing to love them well. They'll be drawn to the truth by how you love them. This, scripture, Jesus said, right, that the world will know that you're my disciples by how you love. And so that's what I would come back to again and again. It's less about, I want to make sure that you don't go to this place on your honeymoon, or I don't want you to take that class in college, or I don't want you to date that person or go here. It's much more about, I want to show you the way that I treat you, how much God loves you. And let that be the incentive. Let that be the enticement to bringing them closer to the Lord. Now, they may ask questions like, "Hey, why aren't you, trying to tell me when I'm doing the wrong thing, or why aren't you trying to control my life anymore?" And you can say, "Well, it's because I believe that God is good and that His love is is worth pursuing. And I just want to show you that because I love you and I want to have a relationship with you. Like Jill said, to not make it about where they go on their honeymoon, but make it about, I want to get to know you better. I want to love you and share my heart with you.
Christine, you were about to say something. Do you want to speak up?
Well, he grew up in a Christian home.
Yes.
And I believe she made a commitment to Christ. I believe.
Okay.
It's just that I did text him and I said, do you think this is a good idea for a Christian couple to go there? And that's all I said. But if we would say anything more, I guess my question is, should we say anything more? Because he's been very awful to us.
Yeah.
A lot of times, even just a year ago on Father's Day, unfortunately. There's been good times, but there's been times like that.
Right. Well, you've described a difficult growing up or adult life with the addiction and divorce and prison and all of that. Right. I was just talking to a friend about this very topic because there's the camp, and we're talking about loving them, right? Just loving them and kind of keeping your mouth shut, right? And then when have you earned the right to say something? And so I think that is really something we have to pray about. And as parents, do we have to be completely silent and never say anything? Or is there times where we can say a little bit? And I think we have to examine our own level of anxiety and wanting to quickly divert danger and think about the big picture and the long haul. I think there are times where you can say, and I know I always get more mileage with my adult children when I say, you're an adult. You get to make your own decisions and you have your own opinions. Sometimes mine are different. And from the way you were raised, I have different ideas about this. So yes, I have some anxiety about you choosing this. But at the same time, I'm going to trust that you are seeking God and making good choices for yourself. And sometimes, giving them that is like, oh, okay. Right. And then they're more open to kind of entertaining that, that I might have a different way and what I'm saying. That works much better than when I'm really anxious and like, oh, are you sure you want to do that? Right. Or just coming in too hitting hard with trying to get them to do something.
Mm-hmm. JJ?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, agreed. There's an old saying, coercion always meets resistance.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to convince you, I'm trying to coerce you into believing a certain thing or doing a certain thing, I'm probably going to get resistance. But I can invite. So I agree with you. I agree with Jill. We don't want to be silent. I don't want to not say anything. But when I do speak, I want it to be invitation, and I want it to be pointing to, just like Jill said, we're going to have a difference of opinion from time to time. But I will always share with you truth, but I'll share truth in love. I'm not going to just blast you with truth.
Well, and you might get them talking too. It's like, that's an interesting place for a honeymoon. I don't hear many people choosing that. Yeah. What do you hope to do there? What activities do they have?
And
right?
did you say they're getting married in October, right around Halloween?
Right around Halloween.
Exactly. That's another thing that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, get them talking and just explore, and then don't judge. And, at least don't let them know that you're judging it. Right?
Yeah. So how about a copy of Doing Life with Your Adult Children for Christine?
I actually have 2 copies.
Oh, you do?
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a book you want, Christine?
Is there another book I need? It's been a very difficult growing up with him. And we've stuck by him the whole time.
Yeah.
So when he gets nasty with us, it's just like, what did we do?
Yeah. Maybe how we love our kids.
Yeah.
Because it talks about the different, attachment styles and how it's reflected in our kids. So.
Yeah. So we'll send you a copy of that, Christine. Thank you for calling in today to 1-800-229-3000. As a reminder, we're going to be doing 2 programs today, so we would love to hear from you at 1-800-229-3000. Now, in Christine's case, her child is in his mid-40s and he's, into all this strange stuff. What do you say to parents of maybe teenagers who notice that their kids are getting into, the occult or these kind of things, where you can still speak into them and they're still living under your roof and everything? How do you handle that?
Yeah, so it is a little bit different in that if they're still living under your roof. Now, it's also different in terms of where they are as teenagers. If they're young teenagers, there's more of a stepping in and saying, here's the household rules, and these are the reasons why we have these rules, and let's talk about that. Let's have a conversation around why we have those rules. As they get older, especially as they get closer and closer to legal adulthood, now it starts to be the conversation. Tell me why you're drawn to this. Tell me what that's about. Tell me why you're interested in this. Help me understand that. So I'm seeking first to understand and then to be understood from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? That I want to, and what Jill talked about earlier, that I'm earning the right to be heard by listening first. I'm not going to jump in with, well, you're not allowed to do that, and I said so because I'm the parent. Okay, yeah, you are. That's true, and you can absolutely establish that it's my household, it's my rules. You're not allowed to do X behavior. Fine, but am I killing the relationship and the hope for any kind of investment in their lives later because I won that little battle and I lost the war? I want to have a long-term relationship with my kids into their adulthood, and that starts certainly when they're children, when they're still living in the home, that I'm creating an environment where we're talking through this. Now, I may still ultimately say, well, listen, I'm not comfortable with this in my household. And so if it's something that you absolutely want to do, you're going to have to do it outside of the household because it's not something that I'm comfortable with. I don't want to endorse that, or I don't want to invite that into my home. But let's talk about why. Let me share with you why I'm not comfortable with it, and you can share with me why you might be drawn to it.
Very good. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back with more of your phone calls at 1-800-229-3000. Have I told you lately that we have a $500,000 matching gift going on right now? When one person breaks an addiction, gets healed, gets healthy, it has a ripple effect on those around them and for generations to come. Thank you for your generosity in helping others. You can make a donation by calling us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com or text the word match to 28950. A $500,000 matching gift doesn't come around every day, but we are in the middle of one right now, and you can help us. You can help us make a big difference here at New Life Live.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found life recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
There are hundreds of articles on newlife.com that cover a variety of mental health issues, all created to help you learn and thrive. You can find them under the resource tab at newlife.com. Something else we have at newlife.com/radio is different ways that you can get your question to us if you can't call in when we're here doing the program live at 1-800-229-3000. But if you go to newlife.com/radio, you can submit a text/email question, or you can leave us a voice message, which we would then play here on the radio program and then let you know that we answered your question. But one of those questions that was sent in is from Angela, and she writes, "We've been married for 22 years with 3 sons. We're 18 years apart, and I left my country to be together after the 9/11 attacks. Problem number 1 is intimacy. We're not intimate because he didn't get a vasectomy, and I refused sex after a while due to high anxiety of getting pregnant again. I had all the work with the kids and couldn't handle another child. Problem number 2, not doing what he says he will do. His words are not followed by actions, like when he says he'll finish the addition to our house or repair and rent out his father's house, etc. Today, the addition is in the same condition, and his father's house is falling apart instead of being rented or sold. He still says he'll get it done. And problem 3 is finances. I found out there was no money for college, no retirement, no savings, but this huge mortgage he took out 10 years ago and other debt. He always told me he's got everything covered and I don't have to worry. Turns out this wasn't the truth. Where did the money go when he took the mortgage out or sold the other 2 houses he owned? When I ask, he can't tell me, but says he will stop doing what he's doing and get the documents to show me. To this day, I don't have an answer. I trusted him blindly, which I feel was a mistake. He still hasn't contributed money in the past few months. During the pandemic, he got so sick that now he can't work like he used to. He has some long COVID health problems. I work long hours to pay the bills and still have to cook when I get home. Angela asks, what should I do? What do you guys suggest for Angela?
JJ? That's a long, tall list.
That's a lot going on there. She said, I trusted him blindly. I think now that was a mistake. Well, yes. That was definitely a mistake. That's always a mistake. Anytime we trust someone blindly, that's a mistake. We should trust based on the evidence of trustworthiness. Mm-hmm. And so it's always dangerous to trust someone blindly. Obviously, your husband was telling you things to gain your trust, even though he was not behaving in a way that was trustworthy, and now it's really showing up. And I think, they're all problems for sure, but the fact that he's been untruthful about the finances, that's a major red flag for me. And so I do think that it's important for you to sit down with your husband and say, look, we have to have a game plan for how we're going to move forward. I'm not willing to continue on the way we've been doing for the last 22 years. I'm not willing to have you tell me you're going to get the documents together and never do. I'm not willing to continue to put things off that need to be done. I'm not willing to work long hours, then come home and have to cook and take care of the kids. I'm not willing to do that anymore. And so we have to sit down and talk about how are we going to have a relationship that is more equitable moving forward, and where there's honesty and openness about our finances. And so we need to have that, and we have to have a timeline involved, right? Not just, one day down the road we'll get to it, but no, we're going to sit down on this date. You're going to have the documents ready, and we're going to go through them together. And if we need to have a legal representative present, if we need to have a counselor present, if we need to have someone from the church present, okay, but let's have a plan so that we're not just going through the same loop again and again and again. And I I complain, I ask for it, you promise, and then don't follow through.
Okay. I like all of that, JJ.
But...
However, I think she's probably done that to a certain degree, but maybe not as eloquently as you just did it. I'm thinking as a precursor, first of all, Angela, you said you left your country after 9/11 to come to this country, and he's 18 years older. So I think first you have to admit that maybe on both of your parts, maybe reasons for getting married. And I'm assuming a lot here because we don't have you to ask. But maybe there was a need, and here was this man in a country that maybe was safer who was going to take care of you. And so maybe there was a little naivete, coupled with the need that you had at that time. So I would admit that. And we all know that there are reasons why people get married, but there are different reasons why people choose to stay married. And those don't always line up, right? So I would first own your part. I would also be thinking about, okay, what does this behavior mean? It sounds like he's just avoiding. He's making promises that he can't fulfill. So this has been an ongoing pattern. I would wonder just about like who he is. I mean, and JJ, what you're describing, it sounds like somebody who is, really able to, set tasks and goals and follow through on them, right? And she's with a guy that kind of sounds like he flies by. Well, he flies by the seat of his pants, right? Mm-hmm. He wants to be all those things, perhaps, but might not really have the capability of backing up what he says. As well as perhaps, again, I'm assuming a lot of things here, the fear of, kind of getting in trouble, right? So there's that little boy part that says, oh, okay, don't worry, I've got it handled. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, right? And mom is saying, well, you haven't done it yet. And so, I'm wondering what their dynamic is in terms of that. If she's really able to, kind of overfunction for them and he underfunctions, is he ADHD? Is he just highly avoidant? Is he so embarrassed and shame-filled? Does he have a gambling problem, right? There's all these things that could be going on. And it's not just a matter of, even though I agree with you, it's not just a matter of you need to buck up, buddy, right? Now, I think in exploring that with him and let's get underneath and see what's really going on here. Because when you say it, I believe you. And I think you're well-intended, right? We give people the benefit of the doubt. But the fact that year after year, there's no follow-through, something's really wrong, right? Something's amiss. Am I just not knowing what's going on inside of you, sweetheart? And I've been so angry at you that I haven't really stopped and paused to figure that out. So having a conversation where you invite him to be a little bit more vulnerable and to say, okay, it's kind of like you've seen the worst. He's not really hiding anything. And so inviting him to be a little more honest. And then, the other part, JJ, your part is, okay, we're going to get help for what the underlying issues are. At the same time, I'm going to need to have some boundaries for myself because I don't want to keep resenting you and being angry. So I'm feeling overworked and like I'm over functioning for us. So there's going to be some areas where I pull back and allow you to step in or not step in. And, hopefully those are areas where Angela doesn't always have to reap the consequences of. But maybe she stops cooking for him or just says, I can't handle all this. So I'm going to, here's some tasks that I need your help with. And if you do them, great. And if you don't, well, I guess then you don't.
Angela, thank you for sending in your question on newlife.com/radio. And the phone lines are still open at 1-800-229-3000. Dr. Jill Hubbard and JJ West are going to stick around to answer whatever questions you might have. Anxiety, stress, maybe the anxiety and stress of a friend or a loved one. We would love to talk to you about it to get them the help that they need here on New Life Live. God bless you guys.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.